Okay, I've been gone for some time, but like I'm back and I wanted to give you guys a personal story. This is just like one of my Substacks posts that did kind of well. Not it did well, but like, people kind of seem to relate to it. So I wanted to make a YouTube video that's literally just the same thing because, I'm lazy. And it's something I feel like a lot of people can relate to. So yeah, I'm just going to read off my Substacks post. I'm also going to just like give more explanations and a more detailed thing than what I posted in the first place. It's just a rant and essentially, but like it's a personal story and blah 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 blah. Blah. Anyways, so I was bullied for most of my childhood. Actually, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. It didn't start bad exactly. It was like a casual thing, like oh shunning me in like group exercises or like, oh, pick your friend and then nobody picks me. And it's like, I mean, I guess. But like, that wasn't really bullying, it was more like exclusion. But like, I didn't really mind because I was weird, like I was on the spectrum where like, doing weird shit. And I was like, just really chill by myself. Anyways, it was kind of my fault because like, sometimes you have to go out of your way to make friends, but like sometimes you just have like bad cards handed to you and it's like extra hard to make friends. I have like social anxiety, so it's extremely hard. Like holding eye contact, even with this camera, is coupled with social anxiety, low level autism, and like a general unappealing nature, maybe like standoffish or not so out. Oh yeah, introverted. That's the word. Because I was introverted and you know just lame. Anyways, the earliest instance of my bullying started in year seven after I just entered secondary school, came out of primary school. Like it wasn't that bad in primary school, but like it wasn't good. But like you enter secondary school and you're like, oh, things gonna stay the same. But like things don't stay the same. You enter like okay, so I went to private school all my life. So when I entered this private school, it was like super fucking rich, like rich kids, and I didn't really have a concept of like, oh, money is like a thing that like puts people above or beyond in society. It was just like, oh, everyone's chill, right? But in secondary school, you come to realize that there are levels to this shit, like genuine levels to this shit. Okay, so like, you know, 13 years old, you just enter secondary school, you're terrified of women, you're scared of your peers, or at least that's what I was. I was really just unprepared for secondary school in general. And then I didn't exactly fit in that first few months because I didn't know who to hang with or who shared my interests. I was mostly interested in scribbling like these really terrible stickman drawings. I'll see if I can find some to like post up here. If I can find some old pictures, I doubt. But like really terrible stickman comics. I was interested in cartoons, kids stuff. I was interested in artsy things. I didn't really get like social cues and like what was normal and what was not normal. And to top it all off, I don't think I was like rich enough to make up for it. Like some people just have like no redeeming qualities, but they have money. Their parents have money, and that's that. So I didn't have that kind of backup. So all I had going for me was like, oh, I was kind of weird and I was into art. Like that was all I had going for me. Okay, now it's time for like trauma dumping. The really bad stuff. Not really bad stuff, but like the like first stage bullying. So it started like small, like people comparing me to like art pieces. It was just like weird sculpture we had in the arts class, and somebody made like a joke about it referring to me, and like the whole class laughed. Well, like here's the thing, I wasn't even in that class, like I wasn't there. So like when it happened, I heard about it from somebody else that was in the class, and I was like, there's a whole classroom full of people that know me, and that's the first thing I thought. And now the second thing I thought was, shit, people can perceive me, right? Like that was a weird thing. And then the third thing I thought was like, who are these people that are laughing at me? Because like I didn't really pay attention to a lot of people in my peers. Like I didn't know a lot of them. I was kind of a loner in that sense, so I didn't know a lot of people. So I was like, who are these people? We're split into grades by. Okay, this is also like a terrible thing that the secondary school did. Because like, what the fuck are you doing? You're okay. So like, the classes were arranged by, like, according to your score for that semester, for the previous semester. So like, if you're the smartest person and you score the highest overall grade, you become number one in the first class. Then it goes like that to your last in the third class, you know. So like it was a constant way of saying like, and it was posted up on like the doors to each class when the new semester began. So it was like an easy way to like, oh, I'm above you on this list. Oh, I'm below you on this list. And kids are mean. Kids are so mean. Like you can be in the first class and someone will be in the second class, and when they're talking to you, you just say like, "Oh wait, aren't you in that class?" Or like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it was so terrible. Like, why would you let people do this? Pissing me the fuck off. Yeah, so like, it was a 3 class system. I was always either in the second class, like middle of the second class. So I was like average, you know, like just average. Or I would drop to the third class and I'll be like high on that list, but like, you know, you're in the third class, like you're all like low-key behind. You all need to read a little bit more. So I think I started reading in university. So like reading was like out of the question. I thought it was like a complete waste of time. You know when you're like, gifted when you're younger and then like you enter a new stage and you're like completely fucking cooked. Yeah, it was like that for primary school until I entered secondary school, and then I was like, you know, chopped. Anyways, another thing people don't really talk about when you're like seen as a loser is like it feels like more often than not people are looking for reasons not to bully you, you know. And if you somehow don't have those reasons, like you don't have money or you're not attractive or you're not smart. Being smart was like a really big way people would be like, oh, like that's the weird thing about that school too, because like people were equally as nerdy and skinny as me, but like, you know, they were smart, so like people were like, leave them alone, they're smart, you know, like, oh, it's just a bookworm, but like at least it's passing. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it was like, why not him? Anyway, it felt like people were looking for reasons not to bully you, and if you lacked any of these like good qualities, you know, you didn't pass the bar test, meaning you were a free game. And yeah, I was free game. Like the tier 2 bullying was like people calling you names, you know. It starts with small stuff like, oh, look at that skinny kid, you know, you're so slim, slender man, this and that, and you're like, ha ha ha, funny, right? Until it becomes a thing that people don't even know your real fucking name. They only know you by the name that other people call you, you know. And my name is weird. It's like a name that it sounds like a girl's name, but it also sounds like a made-up name. It sounds made up. So whenever I tell people my real name, they're always like, you know, like, it's not a nickname. And I'm like, no, it's my government. I don't have the confidence to be I don't have the confidence to be telling people that's my name. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, okay, so like the names they're calling me were like Flamingo. I don't know where this one came from. And back then I didn't have the homosexual allegations, so like I really don't know where this one came from. I think it was because like my lips are like longer than usual. I got braces for that, but like, you know, that's still, you know, that's just how my face is built. And I got LML, which is long mounted Lewis Star, but like, you know, just short into LML, and I fucking hated that one. Fuck. There are other things too, but like, you know, kids are mean. That's the moral of the story. I think back then I had like softer skin, so like it was really easy to get to me. So like if you just said that to me enough times, I would probably like break down and cry. After like a year or two of experiencing stuff like that, I just like, it is what it is, man. You know, like you just have to get over these kind of things. You know, words can hurt you, things like that. Stay strong. Anyways, yeah. So it used to get to me a lot, but this wasn't like the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't even close. There were lots of things that broke the camel's back in quotes. So like you just have to. Okay, back then I also felt like my life was like a really bad sitcom. So I was like, God must be up there, laughing his ass off, making these crazy ass situations. Because like I was always like in some kind of weird situation where I was either running from someone, or like getting pants in public, or like getting pushed, or like get my shit snatched, or water poured on me, or assaulted by a fucking teacher. The teachers. How the fuck did the teacher get in on it? Man, explain to me that shit, bro. How are you actually 30 years old beefing with a 12-year-old child? And crash out is valid. I'm gonna say my crash out is very valid. Okay, so this like one particular time, some giving stories, right? There was this girl I liked. I was really into her, and then the school had this like this like Gmail thing for sending an assignment. They send it to like your teachers directly through email. Then you could also, with like the whole portal thing, so you could also like text directly to your peers, like send like attached documents and stuff like that. But like basically just how email works. It's email, but like for the institution or for the school. I had a genius, right? Smart idea to like send this girl that I liked an email that was like I really, and then like the reallys were like a lot, like it was like a whole page of really like but those things that like they tell you like, oh, when you want to like get something off your chest, you like pretend to send an email, then you delete it, and then move on your life, right? I was doing that kind of, but like before I knew that was a thing that people did. So my sister came along and she kind of like snatched the laptop from my hand. And back then we were using the same laptop for the same thing. It was my dad's old laptop, so we were using the same laptop to, email the school, right? So she had to log in. I was basically overusing my time. And then she was like, "Oh, what's this? Yada yada yada." And then she took it from my hand and then she like literally just like read over it and she laughed and then she sent it. Classic older sister experience when you're like 12 years old. Anyways, and I was just like, I'm cooked, like it's over, it's GG's, it's wrapped. Because like this girl, not only was she like smart, she was also popular and I think I don't know if she was rich, but like she was all the things I wasn't. Okay, so like the next day, like first period-ish, that's when I was like, oh, I'm cooked. Because like immediately, okay, so like another thing, I used to come like really late for classes for like the first period. I used to come late to school in general, so I would like skip assembly entirely and just like show up, after assembly. So like the first thing I noticed were people were like whispering actually, like, and I was like, and my social anxiety was up, bro. I was like hearing my heartbeat through my fucking nose, like, and I was just like, maybe chill, maybe they're not talking about you, optimistic shit. And the next thing I know, I was confronted, right, by one of my friends at the time. He was like, yo, did you hear what they're saying? And I'm like, what are they saying? Anyways, jig was up. I had to quickly decide what I was going to do. Do I like stand and confront consequences of my actions, or do I flee like a coward? What ended up happening was that like by lunch period, no, a group of girls actually approached me and they're like, oh, is it true, this and that? And then next thing I know, one big guy is behind me, and probably a small kid, but like, by comparison, like the bigger child just like grabbed me, and I'm like, oh my god, bro, I'm cooked. Anyways, a little bit of commotion happened, and next thing I know, the whole hallway is filled with people, and I really don't know what to do. I'm like over it, like fucking email. Like it wasn't even that deep. It wasn't like I was sending unsolicited news or anything. During all the like commotion and the fussing and the oh she's coming and oh he's coming, and I think it was like some kind of forced confrontation. But I just managed to slip away, turn around, and I had this hiding spot of sorts. It was like the school's swimming pool. It was like barred off from like, it was an indoor pool, but it was like barred off, like, oh, you can't access this unless like the PE teacher lets you. But I was like really skinny, so like the bars couldn't like hold me, so I just like slipped my way through the bars, and then I would just like go into the swimming pool area and then go to like the bleachers, where people sit, and I would just like sit there and be by myself. And I was like kind of waiting for the whole fuss to die down, but like I couldn't even like will myself to go back to class, so I just ended up staying there. Yeah. To end the video, I would like to point you to my other video, which probably has worse video quality, but this makes sense. If I did the whole video like this, like my face and like Up in your face, like, up in your bitch, like, wow. I fucking bitch, like, oh. No, wait.